Hello and welcome back to the Milan save on Football Manager 2023. Now, since the last episode where we ended the season and we were unsure as to whether Olivier Giroud was going to stay with us or not, I can confirm he has unfortunately retired from playing football. He's now an unemployed head of youth development. He had a good 3 years with us at Milan and scored many goals in that time, but unfortunately he won't be doing that anymore. Now, since the last episode, we've made some signings. We've let a few people go out on loan as well. And we'll start with the first signing. So Rooney Bargi, I believe I showed you him in one of the previous episodes, but he has officially joined us. But then we sent him back out on loan to FC Copenhagen, the team that we bought him from. So he'll be coming to join us, I think, properly in January, because I believe their season works until December. So one to look forward to halfway through the season. He was signed for £10 million, as I think I said last episode, or the episode before. The next signing is a left-back, a German left-back, 21 years old, signed for 29 million, rising to a possible 35 million, I think it was. He's a very decent player. He's going to be our backup at the start, but he might be able to challenge Theo Hernandez for a regular place in the side. At 21 years old, he's still got plenty of room for growth, and a lot of his attributes are very, very good. There is also a reason that we've bought Luca Net, which we'll get into when we get to the outgoings. The next signing is 21-year-old defensive midfielder Lucas Gorna-Duath, who we signed for £14.5 million from Red Bull Salzburg. But again, we've loaned him back to Salzburg for the season just so he can get some more first-team football. When he comes into us properly, he'll be a good backup to our two starting defensive midfielders and to Tommaso Pobega. And our final signing is a 19-year-old Brazilian striker, Vitor Roque, who's been signed for 18 million. And he has also been loaned back to the club that we bought him from. I think it was Atletico Paranaense where we got him from. So he's there for the rest of the season. You can see from his star rating, potential ability is quite high. But not only focusing on that, also looking at the attributes. He has a lot of decent attributes, more than decent attributes for a 19-year-old. Hopefully more first-team action at Paranaense will help him towards being able to hopefully push for a place in the squad for next season. And now for the reason for bringing Luca Netz in at left back. That was because Fode Ballatore has left us. He has gone to league rivals Atalanta for £2.7 million. He's getting on a bit, wasn't really going to improve. I felt it was a good time to move him on. He's always been a sort of a backup left back for us, and with Luca Netz, we've brought in someone who is not just a backup, he can also challenge for the first team place. Another outgoing, and some Milan fans might not be happy with this, given the heritage that his surname holds within the club, but Daniel Maldini has been moved on to Udinese for £6.5 million. He's not really made it into our starting 11. He's been out on loan pretty much every season that we've been here, and it just made sense to move him on this season. His contract was coming up, and we've managed to get a bit of money for him. Now, this next sale I was not expecting to do. Dortmund came in with an offer for Malik Thiaw, £18.75 million. It was a high above what he was valued at, so I've let him go to Dortmund. He wanted to go there as well, so I didn't really want to stop him. We've brought in a backup in the form of Gorna-Duath, so hopefully it's the best deal for both parties, and hopefully he can do a good job at Dortmund as well. All the best, Malik. So after an unbeaten pre-season where we defeated Juve, PSG and Beijing, as well as drawing against Valencia, we started the Serie A season with an away game against Juve, and unfortunately, despite taking a 1-goal lead thanks to a Scalvini own goal, goals from Vlahovic and Danilo consigned us to a 2-1 defeat to kickstart our defence of the Serie A title. Things got better, however, in the next game at home to Napoli, where Moussa Dembele showed that without Giroud, it doesn't matter, we can still get goals, as he grabbed a brace, Benessa grabbed one in a 3-2 victory over Napoli. Napoli trying to get back into it after going 3 goals down. They managed to get 2 back thanks to Osimhen and Kim Min-jae, but 2 injuries sort of just stopped their comeback in its tracks, and we managed to hold on to the 3-2 win. And then most recently, just to make it so we've got 1 win, 1 draw and 1 defeat in our opening 3 games in Serie A, we drew 1-1 away from home against Frosinone, and that is not a good result. Dembele on the score sheet once more, but Mulattieri grabbing a goal back to make it end all square. And those 3 results mean that currently we sit bang in the middle of the table, 10th place for us after 3 games in Serie A. But obviously, this time last season, I'm pretty sure we were around the 7th to 10th mark for a good chunk of that season, up until maybe the 12th, 15th game. So not going to be too concerned. We do have Champions League action to focus on in this episode, so let's take a look at our Champions League draw. So this is the season where the new format of the Champions League takes hold, and we actually only play teams once. We play 8 teams once, randomly drawn, and these are the teams we're going to be facing. So we've got Moenchengladbach in our opening Champions League game, winnable game, I would say that one. And then also in today's episode, we'll also be doing the Atletico Madrid game. That's a bit tougher. We've then got what will be next episode, Real Madrid and Red Bull Salzburg. How unlucky can you be getting Real Madrid in the Champions League group stage? But hopefully we can do something there. Then we've got Ajax and Benfica in the following episode, and AEK and Rangers in arguably our 2 easiest games of the group. Not of the group, because it's not a group anymore. It's just a massive table. But our 2 easiest games of this stage as our final episode of the group stage. And this is how the table currently stands. It's going to take a lot of getting used to. We've had 1 game played so far with Lazio against Shakhtar. Lazio picking up the victory over Shakhtar. So how it works is the top 8 teams go automatically through to the round of 16, and then teams placed from 9th down to 24th go into a first knockout round where they fight it out to be the opponents of the teams that have qualified in the top 8 positions. I guess the idea with this is that some of the smaller teams might have a surprise victory against one of the bigger teams and then go and beat the teams that they should be beating and have a better chance of qualifying for the latter stages of the Champions League. Not sure how well that's going to work in practice, but I guess we'll see both in real life when this comes into place in 2024 and in the game. Here are all the other games that are happening in the Champions League tonight. We've got some big ones there. Juve, Atletico, Liverpool, Real Madrid, Man City, Napoli. They all stick out to me. I think they're the main big ones. So our starting 11 for today's game, and I'll try and get this goalkeeper's name right because I've been saying it wrong the entire series. Thank you to whoever it was in the comment section on one of my previous videos that told me that the correct pronunciation for my goalkeeper is not Mainan or Mainian or whatever I've been calling him. It's Menyun. It's Mike Menyun. I think I'm saying that right. Let me know if I'm not. I think I am. So Menyun is in goal. We've got Zanoli at right back, Kalulu and Tomori in central defence with Theo Hernandez at left back. Benessa and Tonali are in defensive midfield with Brahim Diaz on the right wing, Charles de Ketelaere attacking centre midfield and Rafa Leao attacking left with Moussa Dembele up front, trying to fill those very, very big boots of Olivier Giroud. So first highlight of the game, and it's Moenchengladbach on the ball. Ball played across the field to Ben Sebaini. Now, Ben Sebaini coming down the left-hand side, plays that forward to Thuram, and Borussia Mönchengladbach could have an opportunity early on. Ball played inside to Ben Sebaini, he shoots, and he's pulled that wide. Throw in, deep in the Mönchengladbach half. It's Zanoli getting the ball back from Brahim. He plays a very deep ball. It doesn't even get into the box, actually. It goes right to the other side of the field towards Leo. Leo? No, Theo. That's a mixture of Leao and Theo. It was Theo. Now Leao in the box. Can he get the ball across? He can't. It's blocked by the defender. That would have surely been a tap-in for Moussa Dembele had he got that ball in. But we've got possession once more with Benessa. Plays that through to Leao. Leao now with a chance to try again. He does. He finds Dembele and it's blocked and eventually saved by Sommer in goal. Great opportunity for us as we are now down in 19th in the table. Lots of goals going in elsewhere in the competition. Real Madrid beating Liverpool as it stands. Atletico beating Juve. De Ketelaere, quite far into his own half, finds a ball out to Brahim, who comes inside and plays a nice pass towards Leao. Takes a lovely touch round that defender, and now Rafa Leao can try and take this ball forward further. De Ketelaere gets the ball played off from Dembele. Now Brahim Diaz with a great touch out of his feet. Brahim Diaz is through on goal. It's Brahim Diaz, and it's 1-0. We take the lead in our opening Champions League game in the new format. And Brahim Diaz is the man to get that goal. He's bowing, I think, or is he just pulling his socks up? I can't really tell. Rafa Leao to Dembele. Nice, not a nice one-touch pass to De Ketelaere, actually. It was behind him. But that touch from Brahim Diaz to take the ball out of his feet was brilliant. And then the finish was perfect too. So that flies us up the table to 5th as things stand with Lazio, PSG and the 2 Madrid teams, the only teams ahead of us. So Theo Hernandez, I wasn't fully sure of his condition at the start of the game, and he is looking even more tired now. So we're going to take him off. We're going to bring on Luca Netz, who I think is a decent enough replacement for him. Obviously, otherwise I wouldn't have spent so much money on him. And hopefully we can go out and get a second goal in the second half. Zanoli with the throw in deep in our own half. Plays it to De Ketelaere. Now inside to Ishmael Benessa, who can bring the ball forward now. Benessa with a bit of space to run into. Plays the ball out left towards Rafa Leao, but Leao seemed to get a bit lost of the ball's flight there. Fortunately, the ball is headed straight to the feet of Luca Netz, who can come forward now at left back. Netz with a great ball to Leao, and now Leao, down by the byline, comes back on himself, plays it across. De Ketelaere is there, and that's over the bar. I thought he'd hammered that home, but in fact, it was hammered into the rows of fans behind the goal. De Ketelaere with the ball in the centre of the field now. Plays it across to Tonali. Netz has made a lovely run down the left-hand side, and he gets the ball now, Luca Netz. Can he play a ball forward? He plays an interesting cross-field pass towards Zanoli, who is going to get it, full-back to full-back there. Pulled inside to Benessa. Now De Ketelaere with a great opportunity here, and he's just pulled that wide. Charles De Ketelaere very, very close, tried to curl it round, but missing the goal in the end. Almost an hour gone. We've got a few players who aren't looking too great out there, so we are going to take them off. We've got Kalulu on a 6.2, so we're going to bring on Mattia Vitti for what could be his first appearance for us. He might have come off the bench previously. No, it is his first appearance for us since his £35 million move from Nice. Of course, he was loaned back to them after we signed him in January, so let's see what he can do in central defence. And then up front, Dembele not being very Giroud-like today, so we're going to bring on Marko Lazetic for him. Lazetic, a man who spent a good majority of his Milan career out on loan. He was at Kukariki for a season in Serbia, did quite well there with a 7.12 average rate, and then he went out on loan to Girona in La Liga. Didn't do as well there. He did get 5 goals in 18 appearances and 1 Player of the Match award, but this is going to be the season where he's going to be integrated into the team, hopefully, with Giroud leaving. Lazetic is our backup striker for the time being. I'm also going to take Leao off as well. He looks like he could be about to get very tired, so Datro Fofana is a like-for-like replacement for him at left wing. Corner, Netz to take it from the left-hand side towards Lazetic. Lazetic with the header, it's off the post and it falls towards a Milan player. I don't know who it was, but it managed to get cleared by the defender instead, despite the fact that it literally dropped right in front of the Milan player. I don't know how he didn't manage to tap that in. It's Lazetic. Played out wide to Netz. Netz with a chance to get a ball into the box possibly here. It's Luca Netz across the face of goal, cleared by Elvedi. Netz heads that back into the danger area, gets the ball back from Fofana, and Netz has another chance to get a ball in. Finds Brahim, headed, blocked off the defender. Now Lazetic with the ball, and it's a good save from Sommer. Lazetic trying to get his first Champions League goal for us. His first goal for us, I believe. If he was to get it, he obviously didn't on that occasion, but we do have a corner with Luca Netz once more taking it from this right-hand side this time towards Vitti, and that's headed away by Sorloth once more. Ben Sabaini with a throw-in just inside his own half, finds Thuram, gets the ball back from him. Now it's Elvedi. Moenchengladbach looking to get an equaliser here. It's a very close scoreline compared to some others in the Champions League today, as Netz with a header which I thought wasn't going to be great, but it's turned out okay as Datro Fofana somehow picked that up ahead of those 2 defenders that seemed to be close to the ball. Fofana plays it across to Lazetic, dispossessed, but Benessa gets it now. Brahim Diaz, ball over the top. Datro Fofana, and he should be doing better there. He skewed that volley wide when he really should have just tried to curl it in. It's Netz with a throw in. He finds De Ketelaere inside to Benessa and back to Tomori to try and build something from the back. It's Benessa once more getting the ball from Vitti. Ball across the field towards Brahim Diaz, and it's a great pass. Brahim Diaz with a first-time cross. Lazetic is there. Lazetic with a shot, and it's blocked by Eric Garcia, and it goes over the goal, and it's out for yet another corner for us. So we're going to make our final change, and we're going to bring on Vignato for De Ketelaere, attacking centre midfield. Just something different in the attacking lineup. We do have our 2 defensive midfielders looking a bit tired out there, but hopefully they can last out the last 10 minutes of the game, and hopefully Vignato can maybe create something for us. Mignon with the clearance. Really difficult to try and get my head around the actual pronunciation of his name, as Eric Garcia picks it up at the back for Moenchengladbach, and this would be a real kick in the teeth if they were to equalise now. It's Thuram, he's through on goal. It's Thuram with a shot, and it's off the side net, and I thought that had gone in for a second as I saw the net ripple, but it was thankfully just the side netting. The reason that I'm a bit frustrated at this 1-0 victory is that this is one of our easier games on paper, and we are currently 11th, I think, in the table with this win. Ideally, we want to be finishing in those top 8 places so that we can go straight through to the round of 16. So an extra goal here would be quite helpful towards achieving that. Conceding one would not be, as Hoffman finds himself advancing in on goal now. Hoffman into the box. Zanoli needs to make sure that he challenges for the ball, and he does it well. Blocked by Benesa. Zanoli should get rid of this as we are into the 2nd minute of injury time. 4 minutes added on. Brahim Diaz has the ball now, and he's dispossessed actually by Ita. Now Thuram. Diaz winning the ball back, but it's going to fall to a Moenchengladbach player, headed away by Viti. This is all getting very messy now. Tonali intercepting the ball nicely. We just need to hold on to the ball now. Nothing stupid with it, as a counter-attack looks like it could be on. Datro Fofana moving forward to the ball, finds Vignato, back to Fofana. Vignato arguably could have gone forward for himself, but the ball is going to fall to Diaz. Back for Vignato, and it's deflected off Lazetic. Lazetic getting his first goal for Milan, but he's stolen that from Samuele Vignato. I'm pretty sure that Vignato was shooting there and Lazetic just got in the way. We'll see again, I'm sure, in this replay, but Vignato arguably could have gone forward there, as I said previously. Datro Fofana's cross blocked by Tuta. Ball played to Diaz, and it does just hit off Lazetic from Vignato's shot, and we have that 2-goal lead, and we are up into those top 8 places as we reach full time in our first Champions League game of the season. So just in case you were interested in the other results on the first match day, here they are for you. I'll not go through all of them. In the games that I picked out before the game, Atletico beating Juve 2-1, Real Madrid beating Liverpool by 1-0, and Man City beating Napoli by 2-0. But yeah, you can pause and have a look at the results yourself. And then And then the league table is looking like this after one match day. So we are up there in those lucky 8 teams, and as things stand, it's teams from countries you would expect to qualify for the knockout rounds who occupy those top 8 spots. So we'll keep an eye on that, but the system's not working too great at the minute, this new format. It's just really helping the bigger teams. But of course, it is just one game gone. So I'll go away and I'll play the games against Sassuolo, Genoa and Benevento in Serie A, and then we'll be back in about a second for the game against Atletico Madrid in the Champions League. So just before we get into the second Champions League game of this episode against Atletico Madrid, these are the results from those 3 league games that we played off camera. So we started off against Sassuolo away from home, and we managed a 6-2 win. It was a tale of the attacking centre midfielders, really. De Ketelaere getting a hat-trick in the first half, Lazetic grabbing a goal as well, and then Vignato coming off the bench for De Ketelaere and getting himself a brace in injury time. We then hosted Genoa and made easy work of it, a 2-0 victory. Simon Kjaer was our penalty taker. I didn't realise this until he was already ready to take the penalty, and thankfully he did score it. A bit of an odd one that he's our designated penalty taker, but he scored, so it doesn't really matter. And then Dembele with the other goal. And then in our most recent home game, we couldn't manage a win. We couldn't manage a goal against Benevento. A 0-0 draw. A very disappointing result. We should have probably scored at least one. Hopefully it doesn't come back to bite us at the end of the season. But of course, like I said, it is time for the second Champions League game of the episode against Atletico. Also, some of the other big games that are happening in the Champions League today. We've got Barcelona against United, Bayern against Man City, Liverpool, Juve. I think that is all of the big games. Hopefully we can continue our winning run. I say winning run. We've won one game. But hopefully we can get another win against Atletico. Atletico, obviously one of the harder teams that we'll face in this stage of the competition. So this is the lineup for our second Champions League game. We have Menyun in goal, Zanoli at right back, Kalulu and Tomori in central defence with Theo Hernandez at left back, Ismail Benesa alongside Sandro Tonali in defensive midfield, Brahim Diaz on the right wing, Rafa Leao on the left wing, Charles de Ketelaere through the middle, playing just behind Moussa Dembele, who is up front on his lonesome. So Griezmann with the ball in an advanced position. It'd be great if Theo could make the challenge, which he does. A very good tackle from Theo Hernandez there, and we can get on the counter-attack. Hernandez with the long ball searching for Dembele. He wins the header, nods it down to De Ketelaere. Leao's there with a bit of space on the left. He plays that ball forward back to De Ketelaere, who shoots, and it's just saved by Oblak in the Atletico Madrid goal. Theo with the ball plays it forward to Rafa Leao. Inside to De Ketelaere, back out wide to Theo. Theo Hernandez is going to go one of those renowned runs that he does down the left-hand side. Comes back on himself, plays it into Leao. Leao with a chance to get a ball in, which he does towards Brahim Diaz with a header, and it's off the bar from Brahim Diaz. So we get to half-time, and we have had by far the best of this game so far. No goals yet, though, which is the concerning thing. Tonali's not doing great out there, so we're going to take him off at half-time for Helgason, and we'll switch Helgason and Benes around, as Helgason's not great at being the ball-winning midfielder. He's not really got the tackling for it compared to our other defensive midfielders. His tackling's 11, whereas Benes's is 15, so let's see if that makes a difference. I mean, we've been on top of the game, so we don't really need to change things too much. We just need to try and take advantage of our being on top. Almost 70 minutes gone. We are going to make a few changes now. We're going to take Brahim Diaz off at right wing, and we'll bring on Thiago Gouveia for him. We're also going to take Dembele off. He's not doing too great out there, so Marko Lazetic can come on for him. In defence, we've got a few players on the yellow cards. Zanuli's doing all right out there, but Kalulu is on a 6.5, so we'll take him off. And we'll bring on Mattia Vitti in central defence. Corner, Benesa to take it. Can we get in the lead? It's gone all the way through. And is that going to be a penalty for something? I didn't see the incident. I think it was a push, possibly on Leao, as his name's highlighted. The referee is going to go to VAR. We could have the opportunity to take the lead here from the penalty spot. It won't be Simon Kjaer to take it today because he's obviously not on the pitch. But the penalty has been given, and it's going to be Theo Hernandez to put us in the lead and keep our hopes of having 2 wins out of 2 in the Champions League stage alive. And he does so. The keeper goes the right way, but there's too much power on it from Theo Hernandez. He gets his first goal of the season, and we have that 1-goal lead. And that means, as things stand, we are one of 5 teams to have a 100% record in the Champions League this season. Obviously, that can all change. We've got 10 minutes left. And with just over 5 minutes to go, I'm going to make another change. Benesa has picked up a knock, so we don't really want to risk him. We don't really have another defensive midfielder that we can bring on, though. So it could be a formational change that we need to make. So Ketelea is going to... Di Ketelea, I should call him, is going to move into where Benesa was, but we're going to move him up to central midfield. And we'll play him as a central midfielder on support. Helgason is going to have to play in that ball-winning midfield role that I said I didn't really want him to have to play in. But we don't really have any other options. And then Benesa is going to make way for Vignato. And that is our final change of the game. Free kick. Could we get a second? It's Theo Hernandez to take it from the right-hand side to the back post to Tomori. Tomori with the header. It's off the bar. Is Leao going to get there first? He's not. It's cleared away. Hooked away by Mireille Demiral. And now Tomori has it once more. Can we continue this attack? No, we can't because the highlight ends. But there is the full-time whistle. It is a 1-0 victory at home to Atletico Madrid. Theo Hernandez's penalty the difference, and we can be very happy with the fact that we got a win. So these are the other results in the Champions League tonight. So of the games I picked out before our game started, Barcelona beating Man United 2-0, Bayern beating City by 2-0 as well, with Liverpool beating Juve by 2-1. You can see all the other results there if you want to pause and have a look. And that means that the league table has changed a tad, quite a bit. So we do actually have a team that you wouldn't expect to be in the top 8, I would say. Red Bull Salzburg, and not only are they in the top 8, they're currently top of the table. So that's an interesting one. 2 Red Bull teams in there, in fact, with Leipzig taking that final top 8 spot. We find ourselves 5th, which is nice and central in those top 8 qualifying spaces. Looking down the table, Juve might be a little bit concerned that they are currently not in a qualification spot at all. They're not in the top 24 of the table. Ajax also not in there. Lyon as well. Just picking out some of the unexpected ones, the ones I would probably expect to get through. Karabakh of Azerbaijan are 21st and in with a shout of getting into the first knockout round of the Champions League. But of course, there are still 6 games to go, so a lot can change. So looking ahead to the next episode, we've got 2 tough games. Real Madrid, of course, always tough, especially in the Champions League. And then an unexpected tough game. Red Bull Salzburg, they are currently top of the league, as I said literally a few seconds ago. That's going to be a tough one as well. But in the meantime, off camera, I'll play the games against Atalanta and Udinese in the league. In the next episode, we will have the Real Madrid and Red Bull Salzburg games in the Champions League. But that is it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel to get all my content when it comes out. Hit the notification bell to stay notified, and I'll see you next time.